So welcome back, Dama Boots, and to those at home. Yeah, do feel free to get comfortable. I don't plan on making this a long sermon, but at the same time, so what we're going to be doing today is really twofold. So I'm going to read quotes from a specific modern Dharma master. He died in 1989. And the point of doing that is because these are connected to something else that he taught on essentially us as Buddha images ourselves. And then, at the end, we're going to have a discussion, hopefully a lively discussion, about those two boards over there, paper boards. Because what those are going to do is eventually those are going to go up here in this lovely frame, which when I get back and edit this for YouTube is going to be a big old giant question mark. But those are eventually going to be turned into some variation on art that's going to go up here. I'd like to figure out what the Dharma Boots community would like that to be. So, you will all get your chances at home to let me know in the comments what you think should go up there. We'll have some discussion as well. And that said, let's go ahead and get right into it. So the first quote, and I'm going to just go straight across and then down and across. The first quote is on Buddha nature, and it is, "By working to develop our inherent Buddha nature, we can let go of our delusions and attain the state of nirvana or enlightenment." And on reconnecting, Buddha images are not idols to be worshipped. They are physical reminders of our own Buddha nature. And yes, this is kind of a Mahayana view. Through venerating what the image represents, we reconnect our hearts and minds to loving kindness that Buddhas emanate. As we're planting seeds, our efforts will not bear fruit in just one day, and this is on patience. Both of these next, that one and this next one are both on patience. Once we have resolved to walk the spiritual path, we need to be diligent to see what we should change about ourselves. In particular, we should be aware of the negative traits that obscure our true nature. Right, and that would be the Buddha nature. So the reason that I bring these up is because, yes, we have a Buddha image, sure. Yes, we're going to make probably another Buddha image, I don't know, maybe it'll be something different, who knows. But we have within us this Buddha nature, this, as we might say, this Buddha image, right? And the thing that this particular master, Shinjo Ito, a Shingo master from Japan, one thing that he loved to talk about, I know because I've heard a bunch of his sermons, is sculpting the Buddha within, right? Which is a really apt metaphor. It's a really, really beautiful little metaphor. Not only because, yes, he sculpted a lot of Buddha images, he was really good. I mean, he called himself an amateur, but he could have been professional. Not only did he sculpt a lot of Buddha images, but he sculpted a lot of people to become better, to come closer to the Buddha nature within them, right? And so, talking about sculpting ourselves, right? A sculptor will usually have a block of whatever material it is: wood, clay, stone. Some will even do metal, whatever. And as they're sculpting, they will take a hammer and a chisel, and little bit by little bit, slowly but surely, take off all that needs to be done, all the big pieces, and then they will take some kind of sandpaper or like grinding stuff, whatever, and they will slowly but surely polish that image, right? They'll slowly but surely take away all the tiny little subtle things that are blocking you from seeing the Buddha image, right? And the same goes with us on the inside, right? We need to be sculpting ourselves inwardly, right? We need to be taking that little hammer and chisel, not physically, of course, But the hammer and chisel of faith and the hammer and chisel of our spiritual practice, and slowly but surely, little bit by little bit by little bit, taking away all that is not Buddha and bringing ourselves to the state where we are closer to being that Buddha image, to being that Buddha, to really letting that Buddha nature within us show. And we can do that. Now, as he obviously states, it does take a lot of patience. You don't make a Buddha image in one day. I mean, sure, you probably could. Would it be high quality? Maybe. But would you rather spend a day doing that, or would you rather spend, say a month, a year, maybe even a lifetime, getting that just right, taking off all the little stuff and all of the very, very subtle, small things that are blocking people from seeing the Buddha nature within you, from seeing the Buddha image that is you. I would totally rather take the whole lifetime and come out with something meaningful that people can take a look at long after I'm gone and say, that was important. That was a really, really well sculpted Buddha image. That he really let his Buddha nature shine through. Right? I think we need to have a little patience with it, but at the same time, we need to make that effort. We need to keep pushing on, keep chiseling away a little bit and a little bit, to let that Buddha image come out, to let our Buddha nature really show. Right? In that way, we can be a reminder to others, right? So he talks about Buddha images are not idols to be worshipped. They're physical reminders of our own Buddha nature. We can be that reminder for others, but we gotta chisel away all of the little stuff, all of the ego, right? All of the self-centeredness. We gotta start chiseling that away. It's not gonna happen all in one day, sure, right? A little bit at a time is fine, but we gotta keep making that effort, and we gotta keep trying. And that is how we really shine. That is how we really let our Buddha nature show. So that was kind of what I wanted to go over. I think it's time to move into the discussion piece. So up here, where we have our big giant question mark, there's a lot of different ways that we could go, right? We have a blank slate. We literally have a blank canvas to do whatever we want with, right? We have a blank canvas on which we can slowly but surely bring out that Buddha image, that Buddha nature, if we want to, or some other image as well, right? It doesn't have to be specifically a Buddha image. What should we put up there?
What comes to mind for me, this occurred to me a little bit earlier too. I don't know if there's a specific name for the center. It's often shown at the center of the center of like a Dharma wheel. It's just the three. It's like a three-parted hub of the wheel that I think represents the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha.
Mm-hmm. That often within various animals in there as well.
Yeah, I was thinking about the animal aspect of it, and I know that usually varies by more specific traditions, but that's something that came up for me. Yeah, I think like a whole elaborate, like 8-spoked Dharma wheel would probably be a little bit too much, but maybe if it was to be, I don't know, I see something circular in nature, and that three-parted hub of the Dharma wheel is kind of what's coming to me right now.
What comes to mind for me, I would have to say, whenever I think of inner peace, nature comes to mind. Something I would think like for the portrait would be nothing but landscape. perhaps a sun or perhaps the moon, and something round.
The moon would be a good one. Yeah.
Precisely.
I feel like that reminds me of all the art on the temples in Korea. One of my favorite things, often depicted on those, were the 10 ox herder images.
Sure.
And I
Sure.
think-
Yeah.
and one of those images is just a landscape.
Where the ox has run away.
Where there's,
Yep.
yeah, like there's no you and there's no ox, you know? But it would just be like a beautiful landscape painting. I like that as well very much.
That might be worth looking into. We could do
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Another way that we could maybe go about it is maybe some of the Buddha's past lives depicted, because there's all kinds of those. The Jatakas there's so many of them. We could literally like throw a dart and pick like 5, maybe more than that,
Yeah.
to kind of give a sense of Buddhism isn't just about the Buddha.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. The only story I think that comes to mind that always stuck with me was the one, I don't remember the name, it was some young prince who I think fed himself to a family of starving tiger cubs.
Yes,
Was
yes.
one of them.
Mhm.
And another one, I think it was from one of the Jataka tales of a practitioner who kept like going on these long retreats and then not gaining enlightenment, so he'd come back and over a series of events came across a dog that was like half dying and being eaten by maggots, and he removed the maggots with his tongue so it wouldn't cause harm to them. But then of course, as soon as he was about to take these maggots out with his tongue, like it was just an emanation of like the Maitreya Buddha to give him a message that he was almost there and to go keep practicing or something like that. But yeah, that's another idea that occurred earlier, was some kind of a muralization of just different kind of images and things, and like you said, the stories. That's also a lot of the panels on the Korean temples are just usually a scene that kind of in one scene kind of snapshots a whole
Kind of
a whole,
teaching.
a whole
Yeah,
story
sure,
from
sure.
one of the traditions. Yeah, there's a lot of ideas now. I think we just need to have interchangeable panels.
Well, I do in fact have more of those. I could in fact do that.
I still think just an Enzo would be cool, but that's of course very very Zen centric. But some days you might just be feeling an Enzo.
What comes to mind, because I'm always thinking of all of life and all, there's some balance between nature, man, and beast. I was thinking perhaps we have something that portrays all three. Our balance and our relationship between us and beasts, animals, us and nature and animals.
I think I know where you're going with that. If I'm totally stepping off into a different territory, totally stop me and help me figure this out. One thing that might work for that, kind of going back to our moon discussion, is the Buddha in meditation right before attaining enlightenment underneath the moon, with maybe like Mara over here, Mara over there, doesn't matter which side, and the various animals, up to including the king of the Nagas, the king of snakes, who essentially coiled himself underneath the Buddha and then wrapped his hood, because he's a big old giant cobra, right, wrapped his hood around the Buddha so that Mara's demons who were trying to make it rain on the Buddha and flood him out couldn't do that. That's something that I would relish a chance at that, because that would be a beautiful scene. But
Yeah.
again, that's one idea.
Yeah.
Well, I think what I'm gonna do, I think we've kind of met the intent of having a little bit of discussion.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna do is I am going to go ahead and close the video out, close the Dharma talk, and I will post it on my YouTube channel, as I always do. And in the comments, just go wild. Throw me as many ideas as you possibly think.
Yeah.
Noting that the question mark will be out there, just kind of waiting for you. So, any last minute thoughts before I go ahead and close out?
My final suggestion is that you do all 10 of the oxherding pictures, and it's just, and you have a rotating, what day is today? Oh, today is the day I'm wrestling with the ox, And one day it's just a beautiful landscape. That's my last consideration.
Okay, all right. I like it, I do.
As it appears to me, it looks like easily interchangeable. You can get these boards. The work of doing the 10 pictures, that's up to you, but it's my final consideration this evening.
I feel like I may have more ideas later on tonight. I have some paintbrushes. If anything, I'll just start away at it next time.
Absolutely. And
Miniature version at least.
by all means, yes. And same thing goes to Don Woods at home. If you have an idea, I'm not sure if YouTube will let you post photos in the comments. If so, please do. If not, feel free to text me those. Send them to me any way you can, email, whatever. I will leave my contact info in the comments. I like ideas.
If you link it to through Facebook, I'll add some pictures in the comments. I've got a good series of my favorite oxherding pictures from Korea.
Sure.
There's a very colorful, the Japanese ones we saw were always
They're pretty mellow.
these little black and
yeah.
white sketches, but I saw these pictures so colorful and radiant, and I found this little temple that had just had a brand new paint job, and they were just like, they were gorgeous. I'll share a few of those yeah.
I will definitely do that. As soon as I get it posted on YouTube, I'll put the link down in the Sangha Facebook page.
Excellent.
Okay, with that, we're gonna go ahead and close out the sermon. We'll finish up our chanting and then get moving on with our day or our night, day, night, whatever, wherever it is for you people. So.